Shocking new figures have revealed the true extent of Meghan Markle's financial disaster with the Was Never brand, as she seems to collapse under the weight of berries. More berries, berries, berries. She's got to sell them, folks. The expiry dates are coming. We'll get to that in just one moment, but first, Megyn Kelly has dropped a bombshell. You know the picture of the children taken at Althorp, which we knew had disgusted and horrified Prince William? Well, guess what? Megyn Kelly dropping a bombshell with Maureen Callahan on the Megyn Kelly show overnight, revealing that it wasn't just Prince William too. The Spencers also horrified by this privacy breach. Watch. Royal YouTube sensation Pete Diner with me now on this breaking news. Pete Diner, this is massive from Megyn Kelly because we knew about the absolute abject horror coming from Prince William about that, but this was no surprise. However, we thought, and maybe in some ways this was quite unfair of us in hindsight, we thought that Earl Spencer had agreed, had given this sort of tacit nod of approval. So the fact that Megyn Kelly is now reporting that he is just as horrified by Meghan's actions means that they have been able to unify both sides of the family, Diana's family, the king and the royal family, in absolute horror. And I think as a result, Maureen Callahan is well within her rights to describe Meghan Markle as a ghoul. I mean, she's the one who isn't related to Princess Diana. Pete Diner did not know Princess Diana, does not share Princess Diana's blood.
Yeah. You know, to me, it just looks like Megyn wants to capitalize off of her connection to this royal family and to take all the things that are sacred and meaningful to this family and exploit it. I mean, we also have to remember she did the same thing by going by where Diana passed away in that tunnel. So Megyn doesn't have good intentions ever. And if she can do this with, you know, her husband's family, I mean, it just shows you that she will do anything to exploit them. Doesn't matter who they are, you know? So Megyn, I think, is just trying to show that, you know, she's got this connection. She thinks it helps to strengthen her brand, I think. I mean, of course, she has to think that, because why else would she do it? What would be the purpose of doing this? So I think you're just in a world of hurt with anything that Megyn does, because she is going to use it to her own benefit, and you just never know, you know, what is going to be next, because she's always plotting and planning something.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is, Pete Diner, she's probably realised, okay, this is my one opportunity. I may not get access back to Althorp after this. We've got to get enough content for the documentary that's planned for next year, but also we have to put out to the world that we have this material.
Absolutely. She has to show the world this, because this is her brand. This is how she gets her worth, you know, and she doesn't care what people say when they say no. Her bottom line is, okay, I got to get the shot. This is about me making money. It's not about what I'm told I cannot do. It's always about what she wants to do, because think of all the things that she was told that she could not do when the queen was alive. She did it anyway, so she'll continue to do it. So no matter what, you've got to put things in black and white. You've got to make her sign that she won't do it. You can't just simply say, don't do this. You've got to have lawyers present. You've got to make it a deal on paper where she signs, because otherwise she'll do it. She doesn't care.
100%. Then we come to the catastrophe of the brand, Pete Diner, with these bombshell new figures, but it comes as she just becomes desperate to punt around her berries. This was the new Was Never pitch, where she's trying to say that it's because it's peak berry season, and that's the reason she's releasing this new berry medley trio. I don't think so, Pete Diner. It's actually because the expiry dates are running out, and running out fast. As the Royalist Substack reported, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry. It's late summer here in Britain and over there in California, and the berries are ripe for the picking. Even Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is getting her hands dirty. As ever, her online store is offering a trio for berry season, 3 jars of blackberry, raspberry and strawberry spread, in a gift as vibrant as the season itself. It's all very, very nice, and only $42. But still, I have to ask, is Meghan spreading herself too thinly? Plus, are the berries really her jam? The video accompanying the As Ever promotion, which we just saw, shows a straw-hatted Meghan picking fruit in a garden in peak berry season, presumably in or near her and Harry's Montecito home. It's very slick stuff. She looks great as ever, but there's something a bit off. As a content professional, I understand the tyranny of deadlines, but really, why do all the berries look so unripe and unjammable? Okay, so we're getting to something now. Why is she trying so hard to flog spreads that should obviously be flying off the shelves by themselves? Well, Alison Boshoff, editor-at-large at the Daily Mail, has offered an explanation that after initial sellouts, Meghan overordered the jam from her suppliers and has been left sitting on a pile of jam nobody wants and that's heading towards its best buy date. Boshoff said Meghan's teas, sprinkles, and jams are all due to expire at the same time late next summer, explaining it may seem prosaic, but astonishingly, this jam jar Mageddon could see Meghan's lifestyle brand As Ever face losses of more than $5 million on her jams alone. Those rapidly expiring tins of flour sprinkles could also cost a cool $1 million. To put it bluntly, our analysis of her recent sales figures indicates that there's more chance of King Charles taking a swim in a pool of her homemade conserve than her selling all of her stock in time. So P. Diner, clearly that's why it's like, buy the berries, buy these berries, buy these berries, buy them all together. I mean, there is an increasing desperation coming in the was never sell, and that's before we get to these new bombshell figures.
Jam jar Mageddon. That is a really great phrase. I mean, look, this woman is sweating bullets with this jam. I mean, yes, she has to sell it very quickly because it's going to expire. And then what? I mean, seriously, Megyn, you can't learn. That's the problem. Has she listened to the people that were advising her? This would have never happened, Dan. And this is the problem with Megyn. She has to learn the hard way. And so she's going to learn by all this money that she has wasted on this jam. She's going to learn the hard way, surely, because it's going to be a complete waste of money. It already is. And it's a big lesson to learn. I mean, how could you? I mean, just think of the other products too. It's not just the jam, it's other things, the sprinkles, the honey, this woman has gotten in over her head. She thought her brand, her name, her title was going to sell all of these products, and she has completely lost out on everything that she thought was going to be a win for her, and she's learning a very valuable lesson. I don't know, what do you do now at this point, because these things do not last for a long time on the shelves. So she's in a world of hurt, I would say, Dan, right now.
Well, especially P. Diner, given that Newsweek has now crunched the figures again, and the statistics of her website, which remember is the only way that she sells her product, proves that there is no way that she is going to shift this stock. So this is some good work. I keep crediting him when he's doing this empirical evidence stuff. It's Jack Royston, the royal editor at Newsweek, who writes that Meghan Markle's As Ever web traffic compared to royal websites. And the sort of positive, but it's not really, but let me just take you through all the figures, P. Diner, is that the online shop gets more visits than King Charles's Highgrove Gardens shop, but significantly less than the royal family's main website. Now, no sales data has ever been released, complicating efforts to judge the relative success of the business. And an As Ever spokesperson, translation Meghan, has really hit out at this because she doesn't like us actually looking at the data, P. Diner. So this is what Meghan has said on the record. Comparing As Ever's website traffic with royal websites is probably not an especially meaningful comparison. As Ever is a consumer business where the more relevant measures are customers, repeat purchases, and sales rather than raw website visits. Traffic naturally rises around launches and then settles as the initial curiosity subsides. The focus is on building a sustainable brand and loyal customer base, not chasing page views. Now, the reason I've taken that approach, P. Diner, is because in July, As Ever recorded its lowest monthly web traffic of 2026 with 126,655 visits. Now, that is down from 268,000 in January, a decline of 53%. They may not want this out there, but that likely means sales have also declined 50%, if you see what I mean. Since January, visits have dropped in all but 1 month. Its 6-month average was 177 visits. All her social media traffic comes from Instagram, Royston reports, where both Meghan and As Ever as a company have accounts. Social traffic made up 3.34% of total traffic. As Ever currently ships only within the United States, and 31% of its July visits came from the US, totaling just under 40,000 visits. Around 26% were returning visitors, while 74% were new to the site. During the past 6 months, the site has posted both higher and lower proportions of returning visitors. The highest was February, when the figure was 47%. The lowest was June at 21%. The 6-month average was 31%. Now, the Royals do not sell through their official royal.uk domain, so it offers no insight into Meghan's commercial performance. The Royals also do not particularly need visitors to their website. However, it provides an interesting point of comparison because it reflects the reach of the monarchy as an institution. The official royal website was visited 730,628 times in July, with a 6-month average of 696,867 visits. That is significantly higher than As Ever's traffic, but not beyond the range achieved by major celebrity brands. In fact, Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop had 749,179 visits in July, with a 6-month average of 825,387 visits. Meghan and Harry also have a personal website, Sussex.com, where they post news about their projects, including their charity GHOUL Philanthropies. They do not sell products through the site, which serves primarily as an information hub for their projects and activities. It is not a like-for-like comparison with As Ever, but it does offer some insight into the size of the audience interested in simply finding out about the couple and their activities. And guess what? It's not good news. The Sussex website visited just 71,184 times in July, with a 6-month average of 69,235 visits, some way below As Ever. Now, Pete Diner, I do appreciate I've just given you a glut of information, but for me, the most important statistic, Pete Diner, is this, okay? It is the fact that in July, there were only 40,000 visitors to the site from the USA. So that's not 40,000 sales, Pete Diner. That's 40,000 potential customers going to the website. This woman has $5 million worth of stock to sell. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right? With 40,000 visits, a tiny proportion of them will actually turn into one-time customers, let alone returning customers. The reason I think it's good that Jack Royston has done this empirical evidence and why I've spelt it all out is because effectively it's painting a picture, P. Diner, of a business in deep, deep dude.
Absolutely. And you look at it and it just, to me, it just shows you how big Meghan's narcissism is. It really paints that picture because when you look at the royal brand, you look at people like Gwyneth, these are brands that have been around for years. There's a whole history behind it. Years of cultivating people that are supporters of these different brands. Meghan is very new in what she has done here with her marriage and becoming a royal, by marriage. So it just shows you how she was so full of herself to think she could be new to the world and be able to sell at the level of like the royal family and people like Gwyneth, because she's been doing well for years, but she's got a whole successful career of her acting and winning awards and Oscar, and it's like it just paints the picture that people really need to understand, especially the people that support her. Because you can look at these statistics and you can see that this is a woman that is in over her head, but that shows you how much she thinks of herself. It shows you how it's all about her and really nobody else, that she thought she could order all of this product and sell it and just it would be a win for her. It says so much about Meghan's mental state than anything to me. That's what it tells me. It paints a very clear picture of her narcissism.
It really does. And another example of that, P. Diner, may have actually come at this David Foster gala, which has been such a disaster for her. The snubbing on the red carpet, then the decision to push Catherine McPhee out the way so that she could start this flirting of David Foster. But now a very odd revelation about what Meghan Markle said to a pregnant singer. And obviously this is particularly odd, P. Diner, given all of the question marks about Meghan Markle's own pregnancies. So this is a singer called Pia Toscanko. And the report is this: Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a sweet impression at David Foster's 40th anniversary. This from page 6, by the way, in the New York Post. And I've spoken to the pregnant singer Pia Toscano, who told page 6 about this touching moment between the Duchess of Sussex and her unborn baby. Toscano, who has worked with Foster since 2017, performed Feeling Good at the star-studded event. After, when she approached Harry and Meghan at the head table, Toscano tells us the As Ever creator touched her stomach, and the couple hugged her and offered congratulations. This is the most beautiful time of your life, Meghan told her. Toscano also recalled Gentleman Harry moving a chair for her. Now, what's very interesting to me about this, P. Diner, is I don't think Meghan Markle would have been particularly happy with a woman coming up, a stranger coming up and touching her bump during her pregnancies, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking about something with Meghan and like how she is perceived by people. And a lot of times there's always something to say that Meghan did. Like there's always something because she's always doing things that are just completely unreasonable, and I looked at, how she's had falling outs with Kardashian, the mom, and she's also had falling outs with Martha Stewart and now David Foster. And it's almost like you come into contact with Meghan and there is bound to be some kind of write-up about her behavior. You may find yourself in a big conflict like these 3 A-listers that I just mentioned, but you could also find yourself into something that's smaller like this and just walk away completely like dumbfounded by this woman and who she is and what she does. She's supposed to be someone who is so highly elevated in her status, but yet she comes off so below that, so beneath what she's supposed to be. And to me, Megyn just is someone that is making such a mark on history in such a wrong way. I mean, I just think it's very sad. It really is, because she has so much potential and she's thrown it all away, essentially, you know? But that's how I see Megyn, and I think it just is going to continue with her because so much is still coming out about her, and you know, her relationship with Harry, the things that are going on with the royal family. It just seems to be a big soap opera, everything with her. You know what I mean?
Totally, totally, because we saw it, didn't we? I mean, David Foster did snub her. Like, when you see the footage, P. Diner, it's like, you can't deny that. He was not blinded by camera flashes. He just didn't want to speak to her. It was abundantly clear. We know there's not much love lost between them. She hates the fact, not that he snubbed her, but that the world has seen that he snubbed her. So forces him into this embarrassing statement to People magazine. And again, the lesson to other high-profile individuals, P. Diner, is just, this is why we don't get involved. It's mortifying.
Stay away from this woman. She is going to draw you into her drama and her ego, because I can't imagine that this man would have even thought twice about having to write a statement. I think it came from Megyn, her people, and he was forced to do it because I think Megyn was just so mortified that, oh my goodness, an A-lister is snuppy and now it's in slow-mo and people are really seeing what happened. You know, I mean, come on, Megyn. Like, she is nothing but trouble because people can't, I think David in this moment, he can't help but feel the way he feels, because I think he sees how Megyn treats Harry. I think it was not intentional so much, but I think it was just a feeling that, oh, here she goes again. She's trying to, you know, choreograph where I'm supposed to be. You know, this is my event. Who are you? You know, and it's an insult. Okay. So people just, there's a thing about Megyn that brings out the worst in you. And sometimes it's not intentional, but it's just like the feeling overtakes you and your emotions are seen for the whole world. And now you're caught up into a media storm because, you know, of how you're feeling, which you probably didn't mean that to happen, but it happened. And now you're having to write a statement, exclusive articles now about, you know, what was really happening, which we know is a lie. So now you're forced to lie about your feelings, you know. Megyn is a disaster. Okay, just don't invite her. Stay away, because you will be caught up into her ghetto drama. That's what I think.
Exactly, you will be caught up into her ghetto drama. Exactly, and who wants that? Well, actually, P. Diner, a whole load of people don't want that, including some very surprising names. Some of them we know: Serena Williams, Beyonce. But perhaps the most surprising, her previously biggest sycophantic supporter, a certain Jamie Kern-Lena, you know, the woman with the very odd voice. So, Pete Diner, what we're going to do is get into this.
This video is for news reporting, commentary, and educational purposes. The views expressed are based on publicly available information and personal analysis. We strive for accuracy but encourage viewers to verify information through official sources.